The school library had always been the quietest place. Today, everything changed forever and ever. Pedro finds an ancient book on dusty shelf. The leather cover glows with mysterious amber light. Pedro opens the heavy book with curiosity. Pages rustle by themselves very mysteriously and eerily. Amber Labubu emerges from the book slowly. Red eyes burn with pure, sinister fire. Labubu whispers ancient spells in unknown language. Words echo throughout the entire silent library. Books begin flying around wildly in circles. Powerful magic fills the entire sacred space completely. Pedro tries closing the book desperately with force. Pages resist all his desperate efforts completely. Labubu touches other books gently with paws. All start glowing bright amber immediately everywhere. Peppa enters the library cautiously and quietly, sees flying books everywhere around her in chaos. Susie follows Peppa closely behind her friend. Both girls stare in complete horror and shock. Labubu points at children with menacing gesture. Books surround them in tight, magical circle. Madame Gazelle rushes to help them quickly. Magic is already far too strong for anyone. Ancient spells become louder and much louder. Air trembles with overwhelming magical power and energy. Children cannot move their bodies at all. Magic holds them very tightly in place now. Labubu rises into air gracefully like spirit. Spellbook shines brighter than burning hot sun. All books open simultaneously together at once. Pages turn by themselves mysteriously fast and wild. Glowing symbols appear in air, floating mysteriously, pulsing with bright amber magical light constantly. Labubu reads main spell loudly and clearly. His voice echoes from everywhere around the room. Library fills with brilliant golden magical glow. Magic reaches its absolute peak power level. Children repeat spells together harmoniously in unison. Their voices merge into haunting magical choir. Labubu disappears into the ancient spellbook completely. Pedro becomes his eternal vessel forever. Pedro's eyes burn with amber fire now. He serves Labubu's dark will completely. Children leave school in eerie silence together. Their souls belong to the book. Every night they return to spread curse. The darkness grows stronger always. Peppa Pig's bedroom always seemed like the safest place. But tonight something was terribly wrong beneath her bed. Strange scratching sounds echoed from under the frame. Peppa lay still, listening to mysterious noises below. The sounds grew louder each passing night. Something was definitely moving in the darkness. Peppa tried to ignore the disturbing sounds, but curiosity was stronger than her fear. Mummy Pig tucked Peppa into bed as usual. She didn't hear the eerie sounds underneath. The scratching became rhythmic, almost like a song. A twisted melody that made Peppa crawl. George slept peacefully in his room nearby. He remained unaware of the growing terror. Daddy Pig snored loudly downstairs in living room. His snoring masked the sinister sounds above. Peppa gathered courage to peek under the bed. Her heart pounded as she leaned over. Two glowing red eyes stared back at her. They belonged to something that shouldn't exist. A yellow square figure emerged from shadows. It had sharp teeth and terrifying grin. The creature introduced itself as SpongeBob with voice. But this wasn't the friendly character known. His laugh was mechanical and without warmth. It echoed through the room like machinery. SpongeBob's eyes never blinked once during encounter. They remained fixed on Peppa with intent. He beckoned Peppa to come closer to him. His smile grew wider, revealing sharp teeth. Peppa felt an irresistible urge to crawl underneath. Something was compelling her to move forward. The space under bed seemed impossibly deep. It stretched far beyond what seemed possible. SpongeBob's laughter grew louder as Peppa approached. The sound filled her head completely. Peppa crawled deeper into the dark space. The familiar bedroom disappeared behind her. The walls around her became wet and slimy. They pulsed like they were somehow alive. SpongeBob's voice whispered promises of endless fun. But his words felt cold and empty. Peppa realized she couldn't turn back anymore. The entrance had vanished without trace. Morning came and Mummy called for breakfast. But Peppa's bed remained completely empty. The family searched everywhere throughout the house, but Peppa was nowhere to found. Under the bed, only SpongeBob's laughter remained, waiting patiently for the next child. Peppa's house always seemed like the safest place in the world. But tonight, something sinister lurks behind the glowing screen. Peppa sits comfortably watching her favorite SpongeBob cartoon. The familiar yellow character dances happily on screen. Suddenly, the television screen begins to flicker strangely. SpongeBob's cheerful smile slowly transforms into something terrifying. Red eyes replace the innocent blue ones. Sharp teeth emerge where a gentle smile used to be. The evil SpongeBob presses against the screen from inside. Glass begins to crack under his supernatural pressure. With a horrifying crash, the monster breaks through. Evil SpongeBob emerges into Peppa's living room. Peppa screams in terror as the nightmare becomes reality. The creature towers over her with glowing red eyes. Evil SpongeBob's laugh echoes through the house menacingly. His sharp teeth gleam in the dim light. Mama Pig rushes downstairs, hearing Peppa's frightened cries. She freezes, seeing the terrifying yellow monster. The evil creature turns his attention to Mama Pig. His red eyes burn with malicious intent and hunger. Papa Pig appears but immediately backs away in horror. The family huddles together against the supernatural threat. Evil SpongeBob begins to grow larger and more threatening. His presence fills the entire room with darkness. The monster reaches out with twisted yellow hands. He wants to drag the family into his television world. Peppa tries to run but finds herself trapped. Evil SpongeBob blocks every escape route with supernatural speed. The creature opens a portal back to the television. Dark energy swirls around the glowing screen menacingly. One by one, family members are pulled toward the portal. They cannot resist the evil SpongeBob's supernatural power. Peppa watches helplessly as her parents disappear into the screen. She realizes she will be next victim. Evil SpongeBob grabs Peppa with his cold yellow hands. She feels herself being dragged toward the television portal. The living room becomes empty and silent once more. Only the flickering television remains as evidence. Inside the screen, the family is trapped forever. They can only watch as evil SpongeBob seeks new victims. The television turns itself on every night automatically. Evil SpongeBob waits patiently for unsuspecting children. His red eyes scan through the screen constantly. The monster searches for his next innocent victims. Peppa's family went to summer camp. The place seemed perfect for a peaceful vacation. The road home disappeared completely. Nobody could find the way out of the dark forest. Phones stopped working entirely. Connection to the outside world was lost forever and completely. Daddy Pig maintains his composure carefully, but his eyes reveal growing fear and anxiety inside. Mummy Pig cooks dinner with trembling hands. The food becomes increasingly strange and unappetizing. George plays with his toys silently. His usual cheerful laughter is no longer heard anywhere. At night, strange sounds in the forest. Something big and terrifying moves between the trees. Grandpa Pig behaves very strangely now. He talks to invisible creatures around him constantly. Granny Pig forgets family names completely. Her gaze becomes empty and completely absent from reality. A yellow figure appears in camp. Labubu watches the family from a safe distance carefully. Daddy Pig starts digging a deep hole. He claims he is searching for an exit desperately. Mummy Pig stops cooking food entirely. She only stares at one fixed point in space. George talks to his toys constantly. They answer him with strange and very eerie voices. Grandpa Pig disappears for a whole day. He returns with completely empty and lifeless eyes. Granny Pig draws strange, mysterious symbols. She cannot remember her own name anymore at all. Labubu approaches closer to camp slowly. His yellow eyes glow brightly in the darkness around. Daddy Pig digs deeper and deeper frantically. The hole becomes similar to a freshly dug grave. Mummy Pig sings a haunting lullaby. The words of this song frighten everyone around her. George stops being a child completely. His behavior becomes adult and very creepy and disturbing. Labubu enters the camp openly now. Nobody tries to stop him from entering their space. The family gathers around the hole. They look down with completely empty and expressionless faces. Labubu explains the rules of this world. Isolation has changed them all forever and irreversibly. Peppa realizes there is no exit possible. The camp has become their permanent home for eternity. The family accepts new reality calmly. Sanity is no longer needed in this strange place. Labubu stays with them forever now. The isolated camp gained new permanent residence for life. Peppa Pig's house always seemed like a safe place, warm and cozy. But none of its inhabitants even suspected what dark secrets could be hidden in the most ordinary objects, such as the old phone in the hallway. George plays in the living room with his toys. Suddenly, the old phone in the hallway starts ringing. The phone's sound is strange and frightening. Nobody expected a call at this time. George approaches the phone and picks up the receiver. A weak, trembling voice comes from it. The voice whispers, "Help me get out of here." George doesn't understand who is speaking. The voice becomes more desperate and insistent. It asks George to find a way to free it. George calls Peppa, but when she approaches, the voice in the receiver disappears. The phone is silent as if nothing happened. Peppa doesn't believe her brother and thinks he's making it up. But George knows he heard a real voice. At night, the phone rings again. George quietly goes downstairs to answer. The voice now sounds even more pitiful. It tells that it's trapped in a dark place. George asks where the speaker is located. The voice answers that it's inside the phone itself. Strange sounds begin coming from the receiver, scratching, whispers, and echoes from another world. George tries to help and shakes the phone. Something moves and knocks inside. Mummy Pig finds George with the phone. She's concerned about his strange behavior. When Mummy takes the receiver, she also hears the voice. Now it asks for her help. The voice explains that evil Labubu lured it into the phone. Now it can't get out. The family gathers around the phone. Everyone hears pleas for help from the receiver. Daddy Pig tries to disassemble the phone, but the screws won't budge. Something holds them in place. Suddenly, the dark figure of Labubu emerges from the phone. His red eyes glow ominously. Labubu laughs and explains his plan. He collects voices in the phone for his collection. The phone begins sucking in sounds around it. The family's voices become quieter and quieter. George realizes they're trapped. Labubu wants to take their voices forever. The family tries to scream, but sounds disappear into the phone. Their voices become part of the collection. Labubu disappears, leaving the family without voices. Now they can only silently open their mouths. New voices asking for help are heard in the phone. The family has become part of the trap. The phone awaits the next victims. Who will dare to answer its ominous call? Peppa's school had always been the safest place. But today everything changed forever. Peppa enters the classroom carefully. Silver symbols glow brightly on her desk surface. Susie sees strange inscriptions on her table. The signs pulse brighter with each moment. Madame Gazelle tries erasing the symbols desperately. The inscriptions only multiply rapidly across surfaces. Silver Labubu appears in the corner silently. Red eyes burn with pure evil intent. Labubu touches Peppa's desk gently with paw. New symbols appear instantly everywhere he touches. Peppa reads the inscriptions aloud with curiosity. The sounds are strange and deeply frightening. Labubu writes symbols in the air gracefully. Glowing symbols hang like ghostly apparitions in space. Pedro points at his desk in horror. Inscriptions cover the entire wooden surface completely. Labubu laughs silently while watching children. Eyes blaze with burning red fire of magic. Gazelle leads children toward the classroom door. The exit is blocked by invisible magical forces. Silver symbols glow on all classroom walls. The room fills with eerie supernatural light gradually. Labubu raises both paws high in air. All desks become covered with glowing inscriptions instantly. Children stare mesmerized at the symbols. Their eyes become empty and completely lifeless. Peppa copies Labubu's movements perfectly. She draws glowing symbols in the air gracefully. Children repeat the same movements together. They move like controlled marionettes on strings. Labubu sits on the teacher's desk. He became the new classroom master completely. Gazelle draws symbols too now, reluctantly. Magic has captured everyone in the room. Inscriptions appear on school windows outside. The building glows with bright silver light. Labubu opens an ancient book carefully. Pages turn by themselves very mysteriously. Everyone reads inscriptions in perfect unison. Voices sound like powerful magical incantations echoing. Symbols cover the entire classroom completely. Everything shines with brilliant silver light from magic.